And as always, we're joined by the head coach of the New York Giants, Joe Judge. And, Coach, we're going to take a look at play on offense. Kadarius Toney makes things happen on a 2nd and 7 in plus territory.
Yes, there's a large focus on this play in terms of a lot of things we're looking for as a team. And then there's a focus on things you can coach and things you can't coach within players. And sometimes players do things that are very special. You look good, just give them opportunities to how you call the game and let them make plays in space. So first off, just talking about in terms of the matchup of the game last week, and obviously the thing the Rams do really well is their defensive front. They're very talented, very fast. They penetrate. They really get after you. You know, part of the element of playing a team like this is don't let them be as much of a factor and get the ball out fast. So we see in the opening drive right here, pushing the ball on down, really making an advance down the field. And we're just looking at opportunities right here with really the spread formation across the board in the back end. Get some good, solid protection up front. Let Daniel make a quick decision with kind of the soft over-top shell coverage and then get the ball out of his hand and let our players make plays. And it's a good example right here of just seeing how the play develops. All right, you see the protection up front. Give him a good, solid, firm pocket right there. Daniel has room to see and step into the pass. And then you just look at the spacing on the routes right here. And this is a team that plays a lot of zone coverage. And really the elements of beating zone coverage as a receiver is really your depth and your spacing. Against man, it's about winning leverage and breaking on the ball and protecting the throw. Against zone, it's spacing and depth. So you want to make sure your receivers are in the right space, because if they bleed too close to each other, then one guy can cover 2 zones right there for you and eliminate a player. So it's a good shot right here of guys being on the mark with the right timing of the routes. Daniel being on time with the throw. He's putting it outside the receiver right here to make sure he leads it away from the break of the corner who's coming on down. And it's a really good job of Toney right here of just feeling where the defender is, trusting where the throw is going to go, and then he just does a great job of just making a play right here. It's a second, a little bit longer situation for us, and just making a man miss, and that's that catch and run element we're looking for in space to extend the play. So you've got your run game, you have shot plays down the field, then your catch and run plays you want to look for from the quick game passing. When you go to the back end right here, we're really talking to folks on just the protection inside again real quick. And again, you see the spacing outside right here with their edge players on the front. And they're really going ahead and they're trying to stretch your tackles to really push on out and really isolate matchups inside. The guys do a good job right here of playing patient inside out. You see Matt right there really holding that inside leverage. Andrew on the other side. You see the firm up right here, and then all getting the double team on the 2-man game there. And then Booker coming up here and checking for the protection before leaking on out right there. You see Daniel's eyes down the field. He's really checking those safeties for which side they're shading and not giving away the throw too early. And then when he sets his feet, the ball's coming out on time. And then again, you see the throw right here. Good catch by Toney. But really, the things you can't coach on a player, this is really just pretty special by the young guy right here, of catching the ball. And he's really making his plant before he even gets the ball in his hands. Just feeling that defender's coming with that entry angle and just making a move coming off with that plant in the ground. Again, there's things that we can go ahead and work on route technique and talk about understanding the coverage and the protection. All right, but really right here, that's just a player making a play. And ultimately, that's what we need to go ahead and have success. That's just a good example.
Coach, if you can just go back to the moment he catches the ball, you say he makes the move before he catches the ball, but if you freeze that, as that ball's coming to his hands, he's looking at ball in his hands as he's making the move. And a lot of young players will try to make the move and think the catch is secondary, but you could see that helmet and ball were lined up perfectly when he was catching that ball.
Oh, absolutely. The fundamentals of looking the ball in his hands are definitely great right there. The impressive thing is just the feel of the peripheral vision he has in the defender entering, that as he's looking the ball in, he knows how he's coming to break to make that tackle. And again, you see the foot stick in the ground, and then how that allows him right there with just good bounce to turn suddenly and let that guy fly on by and then get vertical at the sideline right there and then gain those extra yards.
Coach, the Rams are moving the ball in the first quarter of play, and now they're in plus territory. They have a 2nd and 10. You stop Henderson for no gain. So now it's 3rd and 10. You have an obvious passing situation, and your pass rush really jumped into the fray here.
We can talk about 3rd down, red area, and 2-minute being situation, but the situation within the situation of knowing it's 3rd and 10 right there on the 38-yard line. What we call this right here is a 3-point play. What we mean by when we say that is 3 points would be the equivalent of the field goal right there. So being a longer yardage situation here on 3rd and 10, we know where we're defending right there defensively in terms of the sticks. But it's not all about just getting first downs a lot of times for offenses moving the sticks. In situations like this may be a shorter, controlled underneath route to get that ball to where it needs for the field goal. So while it's on the 38-yard line, you're not necessarily just defending the 28-yard line. You're really defending that 35-yard line as well underneath. Now, that comes from a combination of tight coverage and the rush inside to get their hands up and eliminate the lanes to throw the ball. So you watch right here, all right, and we're going to talk about the coverage first. So we're playing 3rd down, some man coverage, right? We're talking about inside help right here. Now, in this look right here, the safety dropping out for inside help is Logan on this side. It's a good job right here of maintaining the outside leverage. We're talking about man coverage. It's all about your leverage, where your help is, who you're playing to right there. Some versions of man, you don't have help. Some versions you do. This one we did. We had inside help with Logan dropping down here. Zay's going to play the deep part of the field for us, anything thrown over top right there. And we're going to watch James on this run right here. It's a really good job just watching how the concepts meet together. And as the guy crosses the field right here, Logan gives James a call, and he knows he's passing him off, and he'll overtake him as man. And now I'll play the middle hole player right there, and I'm playing top down to help the outside leverage players with guys that are breaking in right there. Zay's got the over-the-top threats. I've got the lower underneath ones right here. You also see right here, or how we're playing with Tay down here, he's really that underneath hole player, that wrap player, who's looking for all those underneath throws. So if they got a throw right here to the back, he can break and tackle them and keep them out of field goal range right there. So the tight coverage on the back end, taking away the shots for the first down, taking away the opportunity right there for the break and the field goal, and that ties into how all of a sudden the pass rush is able to have success. And they have to complement each other. To have a good pass rush, you need good coverage. To have good coverage, you need a threat up front of having a good pass rush. So you watch him right here, and again, as Stafford's back in the pocket, looking for receivers down the field, he looks down. Everybody's mapped up. Everybody's a covered across. We have extra help players right there, short and deep, and we have vision on everybody right there. He doesn't really have an easy option to throw to. And as we collapse the pocket, we always talk about pushing the pocket vertically into his face so he can't step up, setting the edge by not running by the quarterback and giving him a lane to step up and expose you with. And this guy, Stafford, does a great job of stepping up in. It's really a B gap or C gap escape for him when the defense ends running by him. And that's where he extends the plays and puts this guy into a bind. Do I come up and play the quarterback? Do I stick with my man to get the easy yards on the scramble? How do I play that down right there? So it's a good job right here playing the fundamentals inside in the pocket, not giving them access to escape, and then getting them on the ground. And we'll see this from the backside right here. Again, how it works together. We know what the coverage looks like on the back end as far as mapping up. And just watching internally right here. And again, Tay's walking on up. He knows where his responsibility is right here, covering the back, moving out right here on him right here. And then you see the defensive line inside, and it's going to be the edge squeeze right here, all right, with Zoe and X-Man. And then you're going to just watch internally Dex and Leo just really do a good job of making plays. You watch Leo right here. He starts pushing inside right here, wants to keep his rush lane, sees the opportunity and feels him, works a spin move coming back around the guard right there, puts himself right in Stafford's face. It's really a nice play, again, because he has nowhere to step up. The coverage is tight. There's nowhere to escape to, and it's a good job of Leo and Dex now just finishing the play, shedding a block, and getting hands on the quarterback, getting him on the ground, and taking him out of field goal range. So the three-point play became a punt for us.
And that rush lane integrity was important. Just the fact that Leo spun back into an area that was going to be a surefire escape route for the quarterback right there is what enabled them to really get this sack, right?
Absolutely, because that's the lane he's looking for right there. It's that B, C gap type area right there. And Stafford's definitely a quarterback who wants to step up in the pocket. His eyes stay downfield. He's really looking to drive that ball in there for the pass before the run. Leo feels himself getting washed early. The spin move back to keep the integrity of the rush lanes right here and not give an escape path right there is really what allows that rush to be successful, because not only does he bring himself back in the fold, he really brings Leo back in the fold now as well to keep collapsing that pocket and making that play.
And Coach, on the backside, you know, Whitworth's occupied, but a straight line comes down towards Stafford. Is that what you're talking about as far as that lane integrity and not getting too deep?
Absolutely, because if Zoe just runs on by the quarterback right here, then Stafford's going to have a chance to escape right out that zone right there. So we want to talk about rushing, you know, level the quarterback, all right, and then fold him back when he steps up. Now, are there other games where we can go ahead and give him a green light to run on by that? Yeah, absolutely. But you always have somebody backing you up the distance. Maybe a defensive tackle spying over to close that gap if it opens up, and maybe some kind of a crush rush from the other side to flush him out, and then you're in a chase path on the back end knowing that he has to escape to that side, and you're in his back hip pocket right there.
And Coach, one more thing for the novice, since I'm the novice of this group standing here right now. Also, Lorenzo Carter was physical with Henderson, which helped out Crowder, didn't it, as far as not allowing Henderson to just get out there quickly with a little chip?
Yeah, absolutely. So we call this a butch. This is just team defense right here. And again, they're putting him in here ultimately to slow down your rush, but on the same turn, he's trying to slow down your rush by having contact. You're trying to slow down his pass route. So as he's trying to go on out, we want to buy time for Tay to get on out there. He's trying to buy time for the quarterback, but ultimately it all complements each other by having the map up on the receivers. It allows the rush to go ahead and get home.
Coach, you know, you want to set a tone to start the second half, and you have to kick the ball to the Rams, and your special teams comes out and does a really nice job on the opening kickoff of the third quarter.
Yeah, so we'll start the half off right here by covering kicks the way we're going to do it around here and how we want to play. That's a good job right here of Graham. First off, just giving us good placement with good hang time right here. And again, you hit the ball right there around that goal line area. Ideally, it's somewhere from the 2-yard line to 2 deep. That really puts a returner in more of an aggressive mindset to bring it out. You don't want them really rocking forward and catching the ball going forward about the 7-yard line if it's cut too short. You want to hang that thing up as high and with good placement. And ideal placement is really anywhere from that hash to call it, we say the red line, because at practice we have a red line out 6 yards from the sideline. That's what the receivers use for their vertical routes on the sideline. So we talk to our kickers, our specialists, and our kickoff team. We're looking alley to red line based on the wind situation, the returner, and the coverage pattern. But it's good placement right here, just in the alley right there. The alley's the numbers to the hash for us. So placement in the alley. And what you really see here is just the team speed. We're going to look at Keon Crossen and Cam Brown, a couple of guys running on down the field. And again, as he's crossing the goal line, we got a number of guys right there inside the 30. So we've got a good opportunity with the team speed, the hang time, and the placement to go down there and set good field position for our defense. You watch Cam right down here. Yeah, Cohen Gillespie right there, fullback. You watch Keon Crossen with good speed right here, and then we're going to squeeze on off on the backside with the backside 2 and speed from Beal right there. And as you're watching it, you just see the speed and the physicality of shedding blocks, get to the point right there, and then stop them. And we're always looking for multiple hats on the point of contact. We don't want one-on-one tackles on kickoff. We really want team tackles, gang tackles. One guy's getting to the ball. It's not about one guy making a play. It's the mentality of getting off the blocks and having a finish. Now, as we watch from the back end, as we explain at kickoff, it's all about lane integrity. We've talked about this before. It's 5-by-5 coverage mentality. When we say 5-by-5 is the 5 guys that start on the right side or the left side, they want to end up on that side of the ball when it's fielded and when it's returned. So we're going to work off each other right here to make sure everyone always has lane integrity. That we're never on the same level and that we're never following each other's color down it. So as that plays in, you're going to see on the back side right here, your very body type. So this is Keon Crossen, 31, next to Carter Coughlin, 52. And Keon's one of the fastest guys in the league. Keon's going to normally win this race down the field, even if he has to avoid one way or another. And then Carter's going to be a player with a little bit lesser speed, even though he's a fast linebacker. And he can make him right and correct him either which way he goes based on how the play develops. So you've got 2 guys running, and in unison, he's reading off the faster guy to make him right, that whatever he does, he can do it aggressive, avoid, and get speed to the ball. On the other guys, we're going to make sure we have a contained player, a fold player, and a safety to cancel out these lanes of the field and compress on here. Same principles apply to the boundary. We're going to have a penetrator, we're going to have more of a fold player, and then we're going to have some movement on some of our players that are going to make sure we always have someone setting the edge of the contain, someone penetrating around those numbers, someone being a fold safety playing off, and then between the penetrator and the fold player, we've got all 5 lanes on that side of the boundary as well as the 5 on the backside covered. Now we talk about kickoff lanes and Pop Warner again. They talk about line up and run straight down the field, but we're never kicking that ball in the middle of the field, or unless there's some special game plan we design later on, but we're never generally kicking the ball in the middle of the field. We want to go ahead and give more direction. What that gives for your kickoff team, it gives them more defined block angles to beat. So when we kick the ball over here, he can read off of how this guy's blocking based on where the guy's going. So as Keon's running down, he knows if I avoid here, I've got to get back on top because the ball's looking to go away. We talk about reading butts. As his butts turn this way, as you see him in a stance, we know he's trying to block you back towards the field because the ball's going inside of him. All right? Now, if he were to set this way and try to hook him, he would know that if he beats him inside, he's got to stack vertically right away to cut off that field angle that that returner's looking to take. But we're going to read the block indicator going down the field and make sure we have speed going to it. So ball comes off the tee. Again, you watch it on the catch, just how the lanes are forming. And right away, you look, it looks pretty smooth, right? 5-by-5. And already you've seen Keon's declare with his speed. Carter Coughlin's playing off him right here. And just watching these 2 right here of how they play off, they're going to be on there on the tackle together. You watch Keon, it gets kind of foggy in there. Instead of getting lost in all the fog, he says, I'm going to play the speed. I'll let Carter go ahead and insert in there. No problem with it there. They're going to play off each other. There's a speed player. There's the fold player. And again, you see Carter does a really nice job of thumping off that single block right there and making sure he can get to the ball. And again, he ties over his linebacker instincts and fundamentals he works in practice all the time to go out there and fit it on kickoff. And you watch on the backside, just good squeeze and lane integrity. Again, we're trying to compress the field. By kicking the ball over this part of the field, we're eliminating a chunk of the field you have. You don't have 53 1/3 yards anymore. You're really working off 2/3 of that field as far as we're concerned. There's our contained player. Here's our lane player playing through it. If Keon were to cross his face, he'd play right underneath him right there. And then here's our safety. Now, we're not playing back, waiting for the ball to climb to us, but we're looking for gaps and lanes to emerge. So if this returner were to shoot here, we're going to insert, make that play known. He's going to set that edge and steer it on back. If it was to push vertically here, we're in position to fold over right there and cancel out that gap. Going back to the front side right here, and again, just good job right here. We're going to watch the outside 3, all right, in terms of how they're going to play off each other right here. And a little bit of freedom of run down there, and Cam being the first man of the ball. He sees ball, he goes and gets ball. Colin makes him right here to set the edge, and then Nate's going to play off him right there to cancel that gap. Cullen's playing on fast on through, and there goes old Penny right there to play off and make sure we have all 5 of those lanes covered, and we're playing sound. Again, you see it there, Cullen playing right here heavy, all right? You see Penny getting ready to fold off from right there and back into the window. But again, before they can go ahead and cancel out those gaps at the point of attack, Keon and Carter did a good job eliminating that play together with a tandem tackle right there, just playing fast and with good instincts of the ball.
Coach, and that's all about redistribution of your lanes, right? So it's a lot of moving parts, but at the end of the day, everything has to redistribute so that lane integrity is kept.
100%. And we just try to keep it real simple. We talk about 5x5. I start on the right, I end up on the right. I start on the left, I end up on the left. But then the other part of that is just basic lane principles of if someone crosses my face from the inside, I replace them to the inside. If someone were to cross my face from the outside, I replace them to the outside. We don't have to bubble out or try to overcompensate because when they cross your face, they're going towards the ball. You already have natural leverage on it. If they cross your face from the inside, you want to still pursue to the ball. If they're avoiding the block, cancel out that open gap you have.